and welcome to the final week number 12, lap guide here for the Porsche Cup Series in iRacing. You're watching Coach Dave Academy, and my name is William Chadwick, and I'll be taking you through this very long 5.8 kilometer Suzuka Grand Prix lap. It will be followed by a hot lap now. That'll be just a hot lap, and then I will go over it in a lap guide to kind of give you tips and tricks to hopefully make you fast before the turn of the season into the final quarter of the year.
Just set your fastest lap of the session. New fastest lap for you.
Hello and welcome to the lap guide for the final week here in the Porsche Cup Series on iRacing. We're here at Suzuka, as you've probably heard in the intro. You've just watched Okay, fastest lap, hot lap, and we'll go through kind of the details of it. Suzuka's a massively long track. I don't think people take it for granted how long it actually is. You know, oh, everyone's like, oh, Spa's 7 kilometers, it's massive, but there's only 1.2 kilometers off it. So I often find this track to be one of the hardest to put together, and it's not my favorite really, but that might upset a lot of people. So continuing on to our onto our lap. I know you're going to hate me for saying it, but let's remember, brake traces, we want to be kind of like a mountain. You build up to maximum pressure, you don't stamp on it like in many cars, and we trail off nicely. Don't slide the tyre. Sliding the tyre will ruin everything. It's hypersensitive tyre, said it many, many times, and I'm sure if you've watched all the guides from this season, you've seen that already. So, into turn one, you can probably carry more speed than this. I maybe wasn't committing as hard as I could. I was just trying to get a nice little line. You treat it obviously as a double apex like it entails. Just make sure you get nicely out to the corner, getting it in again, accelerating, using the exit. Don't be afraid of it. Now, this next section, the S's at Suzuka, is kind of a very, very good demonstration of compromising corners to get the next one set up well. So through here, jump onto the curb, getting ourselves as far left as possible while carrying decent speed for the next one. Again, through here we take much less speed than we can do, so we can set ourselves up for the next corner where we jump onto the curb. Again, setting ourselves up nicely for the next corner. Through here, I tend to take not too much speed, so I can pull it nice and close here on the exit to really benefit this run up the hill. It's a hard traction zone up the hill here. It's really hard to get on the power, and that's why I believe I would short shift. I think I do up the hill. Or just before it, short shift to fourth, get a bit of that curb, run the car out, and just balance it towards the inside. Nicely towards the inside, just so that you don't want to clip too tight, or you'll make the rear step out on you. So just be careful when you're pulling it to the inside. It is obviously a shorter line, but do be aware. Next section, curb, bully the curb, yeet it. Always a good thing to do, and get on the brakes earlier here. So when you end up onto this little bit of, I don't even know what to call it. That's AstroTurf, that's curb. Whatever this green bit is, this piece of like concrete, as you can see here, it just has a spot for just locking. I don't know why. It happens every lap for me. And maybe if you consider yourself to struggle a lot with locking and the general braking in this car, I would suggest maybe just running the curb. Because as you can see here, and I'm locking every time, and it makes this corner a lot harder to make, and you've got to take action when you lock. So what you can see here is what I do. I notice it locks. I lower the pressure on the brake very slightly, realize it's not locked anymore, build up a little bit of more pressure as we get into the corner apex. But do brake earlier here than you expect, because very common occurrence to lock the front brake there. Use the camber of the corner, very, very deep cambered corner. Don't really jump the curb much, and you can use plenty of the exit here. It's good to use, and make sure you get a nice clean exit out, because that can really benefit you for your lap times. Into the next segment here. Keep it nice and close, tight. Use this curb to open up your entry into the hairpin. Straight line most of it. Last little phase, when you go into first, start to turn, bleed off. Shift to second just on the exit, so we'll see here. Already shifted to second. So use that first as your rotation phase. Before you start to get on the throttle, I'm on about 30-40% throttle when I shift to second. That'll help you massively to get the power down, get committed to full throttle, but be able to straighten this exit out without the car just going, because it's very, very easy to do. Again, as talking about it from the perspective of just trying to keep the tyres alive, it's a good thing to do, and I do recommend just being careful with it as per usual. Nice upshift there. Run yourself out to this next corner. I find that you can't keep it fully tight here, or you're just over scrubbing the tyres massively, so let the car drift out a little bit and come back in through this straight, just minimising the distance, setting yourself up for the next corner again. Nice little illustration of that kind of mountain brake shape off the throttle. Build the pressure off, nice and trail into the apex until you get on the throttle a little bit. I tend to kind of balance both through here, because you're instantly into another corner, and I'd say this suggests that this is where the biggest downfall of my lap, I would suggest, is here. Be careful here, because I can't really pinpoint and tell you exactly where it is, but for many years there was an ice curb here, and if you touched it in the wrong way, you just round. And I still think it's kind of the case, so just be wary when using this curb. It can cause you to have a massive slide. I think I'm not carrying enough speed here, really, and I do short shift just to make sure that rear end isn't stepping out. As you can see here, if we just get onto bumper camera, maybe? You're probably seeing it screaming at me, but I'm blind. Where is it? No, I was looking for the wrong thing. It's kind of off camber, this section here. This little bit here is kind of off camber. And it therefore means when you get onto the throttle in third, or any gear really, the car loves to step out. So that's why I choose to use a short shift quite early, which obviously impacts in the amount of power that I'm delivering to the road, but it does enable me to be more committed and more safe on throttle. Again, maybe in a lighter configuration on a slightly colder track, maybe a bit of a better line, you can commit fully to third and shift to fourth at the optimal time, which is just after the first flash, as you can see there, after the first splash of blue. And you probably get a better exit, and it'll benefit you a little bit with time. Down, already coming towards the end of the lap, feels quite quick actually from this guide perspective, but down to the next corner, 130R, massively famous corner, although not flat in this car. Open up your entry. There's no reason there why I'm using the grass. I'm just trying to open it up as much as possible. I'm not doing it for any nefarious reasons. Although I'm sure someone would accuse me. It is iRacing. But what I would advise you to do is chop a lot of this inside curb. By doing that, you're making it more like 125R instead of 130. And it just makes you... No, 135R, because you're making the corner shallower. Sorry. But yeah, it enables you to carry more speed. As you can see, it's quite a cool little effect. You do actually scrape the splitter a little bit when you land there, very, very slightly. But yeah, you can use this exit curve. Just be careful. The car gets a little bit squirmy. As you can see here, I have a little bit of a correction because this concrete does actually possess quite a little bit less grip. Maybe it's even the AstroTurf I touch. Maybe that is actually the case. A little bit of a squirmy moment, but in general, it's not too bad to use this. Just be aware it is on the risky side. Then, into your final corners. Again, you feel like you're braking really early, but in fact, it's not too bad, really. Nice little build-up in the braking. Get the car stopped, down in the gears. Jump a bit of this right curb. Set yourself up nicely for this second curb. I think at this point, I've probably already short-shifted a little bit. So if we look... Yeah, first. Short shift there to second. Get that exit. You can't cut too much of these or you'll get an off track or even a slowdown, so just be careful. Don't take the mick too much on them. Just try and straighten that exit out. Third, fourth, tight if you're on a quali lap like I do here. It's not a quali lap, but it's a hot lap, so pulling it tight to the line. That enables you to get a nice short run and complete your lap. And I think that's fairly competitive for the temperatures. I'd say that there's definitely probably 4, 5, 6 tenths in it if you keep hunting it and hunting it and hunting it. And maybe someone will even get into the 201s with a really dialed-in setup, really dialed-in guy. I'm sure that if I put enough hours in, I could do it. But I think for the time being, that's a good reference, good lap. You know, keep your eyes out for certain things. I'd rewatch this quite a bit, to be honest. It's a very tricky track, and if you're not really getting the lines flowing together properly, then it can really, really cost you. But thank you for watching, and we'll go to the outro. Well, that's it. That's the lap guides done here for the Porsche Cup Series in Season 3, 2023. It has been an absolute pleasure and honour to be doing these for you guys over the course of the season, and I thank you for all the support and love that you've shown in the comments and by liking it and engaging with these videos. I do very much appreciate it, and I'm sure all the team here at Coach Dave are very thankful for your engagement. That was it. That was Suzuka. Key points. There's a lot of key points. You know, go and kind of try and watch it through a few times. The lines are very dependent on setting up the next corners and quite complex. And certainly in this car, can be a very, very hard track. Remember, as always, in the description down below, there is the Coach Dave Academy Discord that you can join and come and talk to us or ask questions, whatever you want to do. Hang out, chill. There's voice channels and stuff like that. You've got the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe. Will be more content in Season 4 of 2023 and the future seasons here on iRacing. And like the video if you've enjoyed it. Drop a comment. Tell me why you think I'm a toaster. But thank you very much for watching this entire season. Thank you for watching this guide. And from everyone here at Coach Dave, till next season, goodbye.